Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rahakwadash, giving double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth in 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters who believe in this gospel, right? So I want to entitle this lesson, The Hypocrite Will Be Offended, right? And getting this lesson or the inspiration for this lesson, just kind of going in and looking at, a lot of different Israelite groups. Israelite groups such as IUIC. I believe the elder Karatazah Ba from the GMS Baltimore camp, he posted a video. I believe it was him that posted it. I know I watched the video of, he had a clip in there of an IUIC camp. I don't know which city they were from or whatever. But, they were getting on, I guess it was a Jake who had ran into him before, and they were getting on him because he didn't have on his fringes, Salakia. Salakia is allergy season for me, Salakia. Bear with me. Salakia. But, it was a Jake who was walking by, and the IUIC was getting on him because, he didn't have his fringes. They said, because you don't have your fringes on, you're sinning right now, right? And that's the spirit of, because we keep the laws, we don't sin. Or because we keep the laws, that's where our perfection lies, right? But you also got to remember that we can't keep the laws perfectly. You know what I'm saying? But that's also very hypocritical because, you're getting on a man, another Israelite man, because he's walking by and he doesn't have on the fringes. You're trying to rebuke him for that, right? But there are certain things in the laws that you guys clearly go off on, Salakia. One of them being that, you all don't keep the Sabbath day correctly. That's one of them. But there's been numerous things that we at Great Millstone have pointed out about this particular camp that they go off on, and they, but they like to get on regular people, people who may not be well versed in the scriptures, and they like to get on them to, basically show their righteousness, through the keeping of the law, right? But that's what the wicked scribes and Pharisees used to do in the time of Yahushua, right? Their objective was to hold people to the standard of the law, yet they weren't keeping the laws themselves, right? And as the scriptures say, scriptures say we're not justified by the law, but we're justified by faith. You know what I'm saying? We're justified by our faith in Yahushua and not, our works in the law. Now, we keep the laws to the best of our abilities. We do the best that we can, right? But we don't boast in it. We don't boast in, all right, I wear fringes every single day. I'm righteous. You got niggas who were, for example, a situation in their camp where a Jake had on, he definitely had on fringes. If he's in one of their facilities, one of their buildings, and they're having a meeting, with the brothers, with the with the members of their congregation, he definitely had on fringes. But he's dealing with another man's woman, sending pictures of his ride. Went to the bathroom during the congregational meeting, sent a picture of his ride to another man's wife. You know what I'm saying? And they going back and forth talking about, you know what I'm saying, nasty things, right? And you know, they rebuked it in public, but to an extent, Bishop Nate made a joke of that. You know, that's not a joking matter. That's adultery. You know what I'm saying? Salakia. But that's, you know, those are things that they go off on. You know what I'm saying? And various other things too, right? But let's go ahead and get into the scriptures. This is the book of Sirach 32 and 14. And it says, whoso feareth the Lord will receive his discipline, and they that seek him early shall find favor, right? And a lot of these camps don't truly fear the Lord. A lot of these camps, they you know, they claim they may know the name Yahweh Bashem Yahweh. That's another thing that IUIC goes off on, is the name, right? You know, calling our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, which Jesus is, as Apostle Gabar says, you know, watered down Greek, you know, and even Elder Apostle Tahar says is Jesus isn't even a real name. It's just two syllables put together. You know what I'm saying? Because when you really go into the Hebrew, you would understand that Joshua is Yahweh Shai translated to the English. You know what I'm saying? So if, you know, if Yahweh Shai's real name was translated to English, it would be Joshua and not Jesus, right? But, you know, the real name of the Lord is Yahweh Shai, and his father's name is Yahweh. The Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that, you know, IUIC goes off on. But these camps, a lot of these camps, man, don't fear the Lord. You know, they don't fear Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? You know, a lot of them do things for their own gain, you know, selling things in the name of the ministry. You know what I'm saying? Not keeping, you know, their business ventures in the ministry separate. You know what I'm saying? As the elders say, man, they willing to sell anything that ain't nailed down, right? So that's, you know, that's not the spirit. That's not the fear of the Lord, right? What did Yahweh Shai do when he came into the temple, and, you know, the merchants were in there, you know, selling their merchandise? He came in there flipping tables, man. He came in there causing havoc. You know what I'm saying? Doing you know, you know what I'm saying? Beating them, whipping them. You know, Yahweh Shai wasn't having that, right? That's an example to show that, you know, things of that nature. You're not supposed to mix, you know, your business, you know, your money ventures, your business ventures with this ministry, with this truth. You're not supposed to, that they don't go together. They're supposed to be separate. You know what I'm saying? You can have a business that ain't got nothing to do with the ministry. You know what I'm saying? You can gain a skill set. You can gain a trade or something like that, and you can start your own business doing it outside of the ministry. You know what I'm saying? This is verse 15. It says, he that seeketh the law shall be filled therewith, but the hypocrite will be offended thereat, right? And another thing that these camps try and get on GMS about is we bring out controversial things within the law, such as the law on grape, right? And, you know, even the customs on, you know, dealing with a woman of a certain age. Now, again, we always say this, and we've never said that we do this, and we've never told anyone to do this. You know, we've never told anyone to deal with a underage girl, or that, you know, graping a woman is okay. We never said that. But what we have said is that there is a law on how to handle that in the scriptures. There was a way how it was handled according to the law, in the scriptures in ancient Israel in the times when we had our own land. Just like there is a way that grape is handled here in Babylon, right? There was a way that grape was handled back in ancient Israel, back in our land, right? And that's all that we bring out. But a lot of camps try and say, well, that ain't got nothing to do with that. That's not talking about grape. That's not talking about, that thing. That means something else. You know what I'm saying? And again, they just try to appease the women in their camp, because a lot of these camps, they mix the men with the women. You know what I'm saying? We at GMS, we're not with that. We keep our women separate from the body, the congregation. You know what I'm saying? Brothers, they have their women at home. You know what I'm saying? Their women ain't at camp with them. Their women ain't in the congregation with them at the gatherings when brothers have gatherings. They're not, we don't bring our women around, brothers in the ministry, right? That's not their place. You know what I'm saying? That's not their place. And that's not what this is for, right? But a lot of these camps do things to appease women, right? To attract women to their congregation, But that's not what it's about. It's not about attracting women. It's about preaching the correct doctrine and preaching it in sincerity and, doing what the Lord has asked us to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what this ministry is about, right? This is 16. It says, they that fear the Lord shall find judgment and shall kindle justice as a light. A sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will, right? And again, a lot of these camps, they find an excuse to do what they do just according to their will, right? Even things that may not necessarily be in the Mosaic law, but the scriptures, the whole book of the Bible, are laws and commandments, right? For example, Deacon Hakai was one of them who tries to get on us about the things that we teach. But that's a deflection because he goes off in the doctrine, right? And he does things according to his own will. You know what I'm saying? Wearing hats at camp, having your head covered. You know what I'm saying? Saying that Paul's writings are not authoritative. Him and Eleazar. You know what I'm saying? That Paul's writings are not authoritative, or Paul didn't know what he was talking about. He didn't have understanding. When Yahushua was the one that taught Paul, Yahushua, through the Spirit, taught Paul directly. You know what I'm saying? So how did Paul not have the understanding when he was taught by Yahushua? That makes no sense. But, those things they do those things to, you know what I'm saying, to do their own will as an excuse for doing their own will, right? For going against the scriptures. But, they have their own justifications for doing what they do, right? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, and verse 9, that says, "A hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered," right? Salakia. And, these hypocritical camp leaders, they destroy their congregation. They destroy and they're leading their people to destruction, right? They're leading their congregation to destruction with false doctrines, with hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? Saying that we got to keep the laws. Well, we do have to keep the laws, but saying that we keep the laws perfectly, and that's what justifies us. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it is. Using the law as a measurement of righteousness when we can't keep the law perfectly. It's impossible in this captivity to keep the law perfectly. And we know that these camps don't keep the law perfectly. In these camps, some of these camps even say that we have no sin because we keep the law, which is a lie. In the book of 1 John chapter 2, I believe, it says, he who say he hath not sinned is a liar, and the truth is not in him. So you can't go around here saying that, we don't sin. We're perfect. Our perfection is because we keep the law. That's not how it is, man. And the Lord is going to, the Lord is going to, deal with y'all for that. The Lord is going to deal with a lot of camps for these things that they do. Right? It's the book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 13. It says, but woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye devour widows' houses, and for pretense make long prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye can pass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, ye make him twofold more the children of hell than yourselves. Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing, but whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sacrificeth the gold? And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing, but whosoever sweareth by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. Right? And this is Yahweh Shah rebuking, these scribes and Pharisees. And these people, these scribes and Pharisees, these Israelites, are back here in this time. Right? These scribes and Pharisees are back here in these times. Right? In some of these other camps. Right? Holding those who they run into, their congregation, to a standard that they really don't even hold themselves to. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make them believe that, hey, if you want to be saved, you got to keep the laws perfectly. You got to keep the laws perfectly. You got to do everything in these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? And that's just putting the burden on them, man. You putting the burden on them that you don't even keep yourself. It's the book of Luke chapter 6 and verse 42. It says, either how canst thou say to thy brother, brother, let me pull the mote that is in thine eye, when thou thyself beholdest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Thou hypocrite, cast out the first beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to pull out the mote that is in thy brother's eye, right? Saying, correct yourself first before you try and correct somebody else. If you know you're doing something and you're getting on another Israelite, and this goes deeper than just, hey, I'm committing adultery, but I'm getting on you for eating pork. If you're preaching the wrong doctrine, if you're preaching an incorrect doctrine, but you out here, yelling at jakes that go by, trying to get on them because, they ain't got their fringes on. You know what I'm saying? That's going into this too. You got to correct yourself before you try and correct somebody else. You got to pull the mote out of your eye before you try and pull the beam out of your brother's eye. You know what I'm saying? So in this truth, man, you got to be sincere. And a lot of these camps aren't sincere. Now, they have some sincere members, They have, Israelites who are, sincere and they want to do the right thing, right? But, a lot of these camp leaders are not. They're doing this for filthy lucre's sake. They're doing this for their own fame. You know what I'm saying? To uphold them and put themselves on a pedestal. IUIC got that bad. They put Nate on a pedestal. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. You can't, in their comment boards, you can't say the names Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. You can't even post scriptures. People in their congregation can't go live when the bishop's alive. And most of their members are not even allowed to do videos throughout the week. But all you can do is give props to Bishop Nate. You can give props to Bishop Nate, though. You can glorify Bishop Nate. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the spirit to be in, man. Especially not in these times, though. Right? So, that's what I got for now. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash. And until next time.